thank you again just for making the time on record because I've been trying to do this I've been trying to chase you guys for a while.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm buzzed to do it. I kind of wanted to ask each of you, obviously, if everyone's happy to comment.
yeah, yeah. I'll
About,
pass you around if needed.
yeah, just about definitions of success, Joe. Really, I think, obviously, since the first record, literally being produced in a bedroom to,
Mhm.
signing with Rock Action, I don't know, and then with Microtonic, has your definition of success as a band changed, but then also as individuals as well? I guess individual definitions of success and how they've developed, really.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose in lots of ways, it's kind of we've already had success probably beyond what we maybe expected when we started out.
Yeah,
But equally, when it's like a long journey, you don't really. There's not like a moment where you're like, we've made it or anything, or you know. Um, and obviously, just in terms, I suppose they have to do this without having all having other jobs, but that's not currently quite possible. So that would
yeah,
be a nice milestone of success. But just generally, like stuff for me, like I read Enemy a lot when I was a kid, so getting stuff like 5 stars from Enemy and out of
yeah,
two of our albums is pretty, yeah, like mind blowing stuff really from where we started.
yeah, yeah. I think so. Like,
Goodness. I don't know if anyone else wanted to add anything on that at all.
Um, just so um, uh, it's been great.
yeah,
You see, it seems to be a you see all these people with like a overnight success, but with us it's a gradual grind, lots of hard work, lots of kissing in the van. Um,
yeah,
but it's a joy. It's just fun, and it's what we like doing. And I mean, the fact that we get to do it is a success in our eyes. I think that people come to the gigs, buy the records, listen to the music, like the music. Although we did have funny comment the other day on where was it? Someone said it's shit or something.
Yeah, so there's like a shoegaze group on Facebook, and I've been in it for years, and it's just
yeah,
been real funny to watch people go from like really liking us to being like, oh, these guys are shit. Like when someone was like, oh, I seen them the other night, they were great, and then someone in the comments was just like, oh no, it was fucking terrible, and everyone around me agreed with me. Like, they all like had a little, um, and I think when people start slagging you off, you know you're doing something right. So
yeah, yeah.
that's right.
Absolutely.
I think that,
Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely a thing.
yeah. You can please some of the people some of the time, and all the people all the time, right? Divisive opinion. You're doing something right when people hate you, or people don't like what you're doing. Yeah, it's like when people have a go at our reviews or whatever. I'm like, well, we must be doing something right because people are still clicking on them. Um, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you were, pushing buttons and yeah,
It's just those people who've got an outlet, so even to like try and have a dig at someone that doing what they like. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Can't remember
yeah.
that other guy as well. What's his name? Posting on the comments and stuff like that. But we just like he had no better to do with his time and like fucking point out things that
oh, look at that house.
don't give him like strong for him. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
great.
It's all good though. We don't spend all our time thinking about that. Just to clarify.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I wanted to ask as well because I thought there was a really interesting quote you guys gave to an interview with the Quietus a little while ago, where you were sort of reflecting on how bleak everything is at the moment, but how when you've got a community which you guys seem to have developed around yourselves in Hull and way beyond, things can be a little bit brighter. And I kind of just wanted to get kind of is that how the band feels that even though things are difficult, and obviously I think it was the record was kind of inspired by the pandemic and things like that as well. Like, even though things aren't always fantastic and great and positive, there is still hope to be found within. How I took the comment was around community and around people around you guys. I don't know if that's how I've interpreted it, if that's correct, that you guys have built
Yeah,
such.
I feel like you did that interview.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, where it's just like I don't know the beauty of everyday life is what gets you through at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't really fucking turn on the telly or listen to the radio without being told a new statistic that's even more baffling than the previous day. So I think it's just those moments that we sort of, found in ourselves and with each other, to bring that happiness about. The world's a completely horrible place to be living at the moment, and there's such a lack of empathy towards anything or anyone. So to sort of have that joy and happiness in our own little worlds, it's like the solace that we have to fucking, carry on rather than just fucking give up and lie waiting to die.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. I feel like that's kind of what, like I remember the first time I listened to, the first time I listened to the first Bdrmm record, that, I was listening to like Happy and tracks like that and taking something from it. And then, on the new record, like I get something from the melody of like Sat in the Heat, just that uplifting for me as a listener, just the uplifting nature of the melody. And I kind of wanted to ask you guys, like there'll be, as the creators, there'll be relationships to different songs, but is there a song from Microtonic that you guys will still be talking about and be proud of when you hit your 80s? You know what I mean? I'm sure, the singles and everything, the things that have got you guys such great, streaming figures are much appreciated, by you guys. But like, is there a track from Microtonic that you're all gonna be, so proud of, even 20 years down the line, one that you'll look back on and be like, this is really special, I'm really glad we did that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Snares is a song that stands out on the album of sort of, us finding this sort of new direction of music that we're really, really interested in, and, doing it unabashedly and like without fear of what other people would think. And I think it came across as like one of the strongest tunes on the record, and it's sort of taken on a new life live as well, because it's such a fucking floor filler, really, because it's so dancey and the drums are just absolutely pumping. So yeah, I think it's one of those where it's like, I don't know, we've been a band for so long, and to be pigeonholed as a shoegaze band from the get-go was like kind of like, it was good, but it's also, like as musicians, I think every single musician would agree that they just don't want to repeat themselves or do the same things twice. And I think it's something that we've really was always really conscious and worried about when we're recording I Don't Know, the second record. And Microtonic was sort of us fucking like actually, embracing that we are fucking a complex group of people and have different interests and loves, and we like making music that isn't just fucking a wall of noise of guitars and shit like that. It can be different and it can be interesting and it can still be cool, even though it's not what we're known for. And I think that Snares is that tune for us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's interesting you bring that up as well. I was looking at the Brooklyn Vegan piece where you guys were talking about, the difficulties of changing the sound, going more electronic, and I kind of wanted to sort of ask, because it's documented that it was difficult for you guys on some of the tracks, making, how to do it live, that kind of conversation. Was there a moment where it clicked for all of you, where you were like, wow, we can do this. This is going to be, because obviously live it's such an expansive sound, but it must have been so hard to decide to change the sound as a group, not just as individuals, but then also to action it. When were you rehearsing and it just clicked and you were like, yes, we're going to do this. Everything's going to be awesome, except for maybe complicated welly show or whatever aside. But was there a moment where you were like, man, we've taken a gamble here. We've changed the sound. We've done something we love, but again, difficult to do. A great idea to execute on record, but then difficult to do live. So was there a moment that really clicked for you guys where you figured it out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way that we record music nowadays, we don't, like, me and Ryan write the demos at home and then we take that into the studio and the practice room comes afterwards. So, like, all the writing gets done in the studio and then we figure out how to play it retroactively, which is quite a challenge. But I think the first time we played Lake Disappointment in a room together and sort of felt the energy that we could create with this sort of new set of instruments and this new sort of sonic palette that we were going for, it was really eye-opening to like how incredible and like and how I don't know and how well it would sit alongside the old stuff as well. I think we were always quite worried that it would be like, oh, here's all the new stuff which sounds one way and then here's all the old stuff which sounds another way, whereas like it sort of melded really nicely into sort of, I mean, like the set that we're playing at the moment is just probably one of our absolute favorites, because it's just it's got all it has the ebbs and flows rather than just an assault of noise for an hour, which is
Yeah.
just what the old shows used to be like. And I think it's just been able to add that sort of deafness to our sound has been really, really helpful. But yeah, I think the sort of light bulb moment was definitely like disappointment in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic seeing you guys. I think I'd seen you guys twice before. One was at a Humber Street session, one was at Warren Records, and then seeing you at Welly and that was like years and years ago. When I first moved back to the area, and I was like, this is obviously very, very different. And I just so I think that sonic journey definitely comes through in the sound. It's a band that's not afraid to push to push the envelope of what you guys are capable of as musicians, which I think is a beautiful thing. Couple of more, two or three more questions now, then, because I'm fascinated by as a publication based in the north that fortunately is able to make money and do creative things. I'm fascinated by sort of the north south divide and how people, bands that do break out of working class northern cities to achieve national and international acclaim like yourselves. Have you noticed a difference since when you guys started out? Again, it goes back to that success question, I suppose, to how, I mean, maybe again, some people say I'm completely wrong and there is no north-south divide and it's not a thing. But I'm interested in your perspective as a band that is now touring internationally, and have has these great opportunities, thanks to obviously support from a lot of great people as well. Do you notice a north-south divide? Have you ever noticed it, and do you notice it less now that you're traveling? Do you think that as a band from Hull, from Yorkshire, that you've maybe had less opportunities before, but now you're seeing more opportunities? I don't know what do you guys have an opinion on that? Rightly, what do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people say that it isn't real. I mean, that's just a lie. It definitely exists. I mean, like, the amount of people that I know that have fucking moved to London and got fucking incredible jobs just because they
Yeah.
fucking live in the capital city is like disgusting. Like, there's so many people that like used to live in Hull that now live in London, and like that's not a bad thing. It's nothing
Yeah.
to do with them. It's just the culture of the fucking world that we live in, like the non-cities just get fucking ignored. It's like even coming back from London, like on a fucking train or something, it's like you manage to get to Birmingham or like to like Doncaster in like an hour because the
Yeah.
fucking rails are, and then you're on some fucking rickety fucking steam train bullshit for
Yeah.
2.5 hours to try and get back to Hull because the entirety of the north has been completely ignored. And I feel
Yeah.
like in music that is a thing as well. Like, I'm not going to lie and say like that we're not extremely lucky, because we have been such an extremely lucky band to get to the position that we were in, but we've had to fucking work hard to get to the position that we've been in. And I think we've done a lot more shit than like a lot of other bands who are in southern England do.
Yeah.
Like, I used to fucking skip college to fucking get in a van and then just like drive down to London with all of us, and then we'd drive back, play for fucking peanuts, and then drive back home,
Yeah.
and like stuff like that, where we just, you have to leave Hull to find the opportunities, because unfortunately for like the city, there's just no money and no opportunities there, apart from specific groups of people that are working tirelessly to, make Hull a fucking viable option for young creative musicians. But I find it's quite it's like disheartening and saddening to see new musicians start now with not a clue what to do, because there's not those places for them to go where there maybe would be in the south.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, an extension of that, and this is going to sound like a bit of I suppose, a bit of a challenge. And it's not meant to sound confrontational, but I remember I remember speaking to Matt Healy 1975 years ago, and he spent the whole interview going, "Oh, I love Manchester," and obviously they've got the roots there and everything. I love Manchester, I love the North. And then after it was done, he was like, "Oh, I'm moving to London next week." Has there ever been a discussion with you guys about moving, or have you all? Because I know some of you are in Leeds, right? But have you always wanted? Has there ever been a discussion about moving? Was that ever a discussion with the label? I know they're Scotland, whatever. But has there ever been a discussion about moving, or have you always wanted to stay I'm not trying to lead the question. I know it
No,
probably
no,
sounds like, but
I
like,
completely understand what you mean.
there's
No, there's never been a discussion for us to leave. We're like a whole band. I think it's disappointing in the press to sort of see us labelled as a Leeds band. Like, I went to Leeds to go to university, and for like just because I was living there, we've been tagged as a Leeds band, and it fucking grinds my gears because we're a whole band and we're a whole born and bred. You know, we fucking love and appreciate where we're from, and we'll always fly the flag for where we're from. But yeah, I like that. No, there's never ever been a discussion of. I think in terms of like personal opportunities just to grow outside of the band, then yeah, fair enough. Like we moved to Leeds and stuff like that. But you know, we're a whole band, and I think us moving to London would just be fucking stupid.
Yeah, nah, it's cool. I mean, I will squeeze one in, and it's a very cheesy question, but I think because you guys have done so well, and I've had so many conversations with young musicians about, well, have you seen Bdrmm? Oh man, yeah, if Bdrmm can do that, maybe we can do that. More than a handful of times, young bands have said, well, oh, we can't do anything from Hull, but then there's Bdrmm, and then there's Life and other bands. What would be your advice for an emerging band from, you Scunthorpe, Grimsby, Hull? I'm not saying that they're all the same, but like the sort of northern towns that maybe look at and go, oh shit, well, I can't afford to move to London. I literally don't have the money. Obviously, some people have had and been able to move. That's great. But, I can't do that. So there's, maybe there's no opportunities for me. I can't succeed. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? I know it's a bit of a cheesy question, but I think it's important to ask because you have succeeded. You are on a major label. You do have the support. And also you are putting the graft in right now. So do you have any advice for any young and emerging bands from the North?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing for us, and I said to any of the bands that I ever speak to, is we just never used to turn anything down. Like, we really have played every possible gig there's ever been to play.
Yeah.
And it's that level of commitment and how serious we took it from quite an early stage.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and we've had some kind of like lucky breaks and stuff in terms of we got to tour with Ride and Mogwai and stuff, and not everyone would necessarily have got those breaks, but I think we worked for them equally at the same time. It just really is. Obviously we come across bands where you can see they've had a leg up and their dad's like a lord of whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's everyone's different experience in it. But I think if you are a northern band and you haven't got that big money behind you, it's just a case of you have to actually just really put the hours in and commit to it and
work with people you like as well.
Yeah.
But also just don't let your creativity be dampened by where you're from. If you fucking have an idea or want to be, you just got to be the person that you want to be to respond to a cheesy question with a cheesy answer. But I mean, the fucking last thing that we would ever want to do is just try and do what we thought other people wanted us to do. And I think the most important thing in music at the moment, or always, has just been fucking believe in your ideas and fucking the right people will fucking listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that work ethic is really important, and that's why I wanted to ask that cheesy question, because now that I've sat with you is just because I think it's important, because a lot of bands from this area and a lot of bands from beyond it, they're like, well, what bands are doing well from the area? Can you succeed if you're in this area? Because the immediate is, well, I must move here, I must do this, I must do that. And what you're saying is, if you put the graft in, and I think obviously the quality is there, obviously with you guys the quality is there, you put the effort in and people will pay attention. And that's how I've taken it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice one. Right, I've got three more, lads, and then we're done. I once again really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I've wanted to ask this question for a while, because I know you guys have talked about your love for David Lynch, Trent Reznor, bands like that, soundtracks and things. If you could hypothetically rip the soundtrack of any existing film and replace it with Microtonic, which film would you choose, or which films would you choose, and why?
I've only ever seen Forrest Gump, so I'll let Jordan answer.
Microtonic over Forrest Gump.
I'm fine with that. Forrest Gump's a good answer.
No, I'm sure Jordan's probably got a more intellectual answer.
No, Forrest Gump is fine.
Stick with Gump.
Stick with Gump.
Right, now you've got to justify it. I did ask a why, so you got to justify Gump now.
Like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's like the Bdrmm slogan going forward. I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, cool. Right. The sort of promo questions now. Then, any message for your supporters in Hull and around the world? Anything that you want to say to the people that are going to be showing up at these shows and obviously supporting Microtonic, now and in future years, really.
Thanks.
Fair enough.
We are really grateful. No, genuinely, and we always try make time for everyone. And that sounds cunty saying that like that, but just to say, it's nice to chat to people when you play a show and kind of meet people and show an interest in whatever they're doing in their music and stuff. And I think we just are very grateful for everyone who buys a record or comes to a show and everything, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because you can see that. You can see the love in the room, at the Welly and other places. Like, you guys have built, you talk about community. You guys seem to have built a community around yourselves, which, a lot of love, which is great. And obviously the label as well. I suppose as a little aside, how important is that for you, the community? You talk about working with the right people, working with people that you like, as a way to advance in the industry. How important is it for you to create those connections, not only with your label and Mogwai and all those people, but also the people at home that come out and support you guys? And, there were so many people having such a blast around your music at the Welly Club and obviously in other shows. So how does it feel to have cultivated a Bdrmm community, as it were?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Honestly, I don't think any of us really ever expected to get to this point. And like our old manager used to say to us, it doesn't matter if you're playing to 1,000 people or an old man and his dog. Put in the same amount of effort that you do. And I think a lot of people appreciate that about what we've trying to do. And I don't think there's any sort of pretense with us, and I don't think any of us are really cool guys, you know what I mean? So I think that stigma about being mysterious and being in a band, it's interesting and it's fun, but people fucking pay to see you, so it's like a common courtesy to be kind and listen to what they have to say, and more often than not, everyone's absolutely wonderful. So it's so humbling and so lovely to have grown such a loving and caring fan base around music that we love and care and appreciate.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Last question then, guys, is the proper promo question. Have I done my job properly? Is there anything you want to ask? Is there anything you want to promote before we finish? Anything that I've missed that you want to shout out and plug?
Just go buy Microtonic, listen to it, and then tell the mates about it, and then buy another copy.
Yeah, if you get your friend. If you buy Microtonic, then tell 2 friends about it, and then they can tell 2 friends about it, and then soon we'll be in the charts.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, if you want to come see us live, we're just about to hit Europe, so please fly out and see us.
Absolutely. Well worth it. Well worth it. Much appreciated, lads. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the tour and safe travels. All right.
You too, mate. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye.